Did Jackson State steal UAPB's playbook? Like, what? How does this happen? How does this even become a topic of conversation? Well, let's talk about it. As the Tigers beat the Golden Lions by 38 points on Saturday, but off script did it again. He set the internet on fire by. Well, let's just talk about it after the bumper. Stay tuned. We got to get into it. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYJr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because I upload all the time. Now, Scotty from Off Script. Shout out to Scotty. Scotty, I like Scotty. Some of y'all don't, but I do. I like Scotty. Scotty put it out there. He put it out there that Jackson State, he said he got it from two sources. This is his words. I went and watched the video. That Jackson State, there was a disgruntled player from UAPB, and that he allegedly gave his huddle access to Jackson State, which then had their entire playbook. And Scotty is essentially saying that's why Jackson State beat the dog crap out of UAPB. Jackson, if you don't remember, let me just go ahead and show you the score. UAPB had an offense that was okay. UAPB weren't world beaters, by the way. Let's put that out there. But they had an offense that had been able to make some plays throughout the season. But JSU beat them 41-3, and it was never close. It was UAPB could never get anything going. They finally scored those 3 points in the fourth quarter. It was 41-0 most of the game. I mean, they had 0 most of the game, and JSU won 41-3. Now Scotty came out and said he showed on his video some text messages that he got. I don't think he ever disclosed who it was from, but it was essentially saying not only did JSU allegedly have access to UAPB's playbook, he said there were players on the field after the game bragging about it. That's what he said. He said, well, what the text message said. Let me not say this what he said. As what the text message said on the video, that there were players allegedly from Jackson State on the field after the game bragging about having the playbook. Now, there's a couple of directions here. Scotty one's got to be careful, buddy. You got to be careful putting stuff like this because that's a hell of an accusation. To say that a team had access to another team's playbook is a hell of an accusation. That's a hell of a thing to kind of put out there. That's one. So just be careful, buddy. Rooting for you, but be careful. Two, having a playbook, that's one thing. I also have to put it into context. Everybody kind of has everybody's playbook in a way when you're playing a team because you do a thing called scout. You get sit game film, all 22 game film, and you study film. And when you study film, you essentially have that team's playbook. Now, you don't know what plays they're going to run, but that's the team's playbook. The film is the team's playbook, especially 8, 9, 10 games into a season. What would have been even more crazy is if he said that they knew the signs. Now, that's different. Having a playbook is one thing. It is an advantage. I'm not going to act like it's not no advantage. That is an advantage. But having the signs is a bigger advantage. That's why the whole Connor Stallions thing, Michigan, that's why that was a whole big thing on the FBS level. Michigan was sign stealing. They knew the other team's signs, which means forget just having a playbook. I know what play you're going to run. When I can decipher your signs, now at the FBS level, they have helmet communication. At the FCS level, which is where the HBCUs are at, that's not a thing. They still use signs and boards and all kinds of stuff to send the plays in. Sign stealing is different because I actually know what plays you're going to run. Everybody has everybody's playbook because to an extent, because of the film that is swapped, because of the film that you can watch, the all 22 that you can watch on the teams. You can watch every game from this season, from last season, all of that stuff. So you kind of know the playbook anyway. Hey, the tendencies are when they're in this formation, they're going to run this play. They typically like to go to this guy. They typically like to run this guy. That's why the best players typically talk about their film study, because their film study gives them tips on the player or the team that they're going against, or the coach or the philosophy that they're going against. That's why the greatest players of all time always talk about film study, because that's the tendencies of the team. That's their playbook. He didn't say sign stealing, though, at least not any video, anything that I watched. And so that is a little more salacious. Having the playbook is kind of like, oh, okay, we all kind of have that to a certain extent. He did say sign stealing, so that isn't nearly as bad. At the same time, though, I mean, I don't know what the thing is. I don't know, because UAPB, it'd be different if UAPB were world beaters going into this game. I watched a little bit of Ken Clark, KC 1400, him and TD talk about this a little bit. And he essentially, because those guys talk to the coaches at JSU. I don't. Scotty doesn't, but those guys do. And, take it for whatever you want. But they said that the game plan was to make the quarterback throw it to somebody other than number 11. Number 11 had came in as the number one wide receiver in the SWAC, or one of the top wide receivers in the SWAC, into this game. And they essentially said, you're going to have to force the ball to someone else. You're going to have to throw the ball to somewhere else. We're not going to allow him to beat us. And obviously, that's not what happened. They only scored 3 points. Those 3 points came in the fourth quarter after being down 41-0. So my thoughts on it is, I don't know if they had the playbook or not. And quite honestly, I don't care if they did, because once again, yes, having the playbook is an advantage. Once again, I'm not going to say that it isn't. It is having an advantage. At the same time, though, you don't know what plays they're going to run. You have to, and even if they're going to run it, even if you know what they're going to run, you still have to be able to execute and stop it. like they still have to line up, and you have to be able to stop it. And all of that being said, you having their playbook doesn't mean that you didn't have their, that means they still had an opportunity to stop you, and they gave up 41 points. And one thing about JSU this season, they've been able to score points on just about everybody. Like JSU, Jackson State, has been able to score points on just about every. UAPB is not alone in this. Let's look at their season scores. I mean, we're taking a look at it right now. I mean, 14 against UM Monroe, but then 58 against Lane, 33 against Southern. They got beat up on by Grambling, but 43 at Texas Southern, 45 Alabama A&M, 35 against FAMU, 37 BCU, and then 41. So it looks to me they've been able to score on just about anybody. So having a playbook or not, UAPB had opportunities on defense to stop Coach T.C. Taylor, Jacobian Morgan, Travis Terrell, Irv Mulligan, and those guys at JSU, and they weren't able to. So let's say you can spot UAPB 20 points. Spot them 30 points. They gave up 41, and they still lose the game. That's my whole thing. It's like give them 30 points, and they still lose the game by over a touchdown. So playbook, no playbook, whatever. They couldn't stop JSU's offense. They couldn't stop Irv Mulligan. Irv Mulligan was able to do whatever he wanted. The JSU offensive line dominated that game. And that has nothing to do with a playbook. That has absolutely nothing to do with a playbook. And once again, sign stealing is way bigger than actually having the playbook, because guess what? Because of film study, because of swapping the film, because of game tape, whether it's TV or all 22, you essentially know the playbook if you watch the games, if you study the film. And so therefore, they had JSU's playbook too. They had the film, and they weren't able to stop it. And JSU still went up there and put up 41 points. So, but that is interesting. It is interesting to hear that type of story. That's unfortunate if there is a disgruntled player, former player from UAPB giving out trade secrets. You're letting stuff out the house. That's pretty wild. And if the access to the playbook, now this was an interesting little tidbit from this whole thing. If access to the playbook is via huddle, UAPB needs to do better. I'm gonna just put that out there. If they're putting their entire playbook on huddle, because that's allegedly what is going on, they need to do better. They are a college football team. They are an FCS college football team. Do better than putting your playbook on huddle. I'm sorry. Please do better. That's all I have to say on that. But this is an interesting story. I don't think it's anything. I don't think Dr. McClellan, the SWAC, or anybody will do anything about this. I don't. I think the JSU's 5-0 in the conference. Their one loss to a SWAC school this year was to Grambling, but that was a non-conference game, fortunately for them. They're 5-0 in the conference. UAPB's a 3-win team. And JSU has been able to score points on everybody. Like, they've been able to score points on everybody. UAPB could have stopped them. Having their playbook or not, I don't think they did, but having their playbook or not doesn't take away the fact that UAPB simply couldn't stop Irv Mulligan. And Jacoby Morgan threw for 3 touchdowns. Dupree had 2 touchdowns. That has nothing to do with a playbook. But it is interesting to see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsYJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYJr, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because I upload all the time. Also, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JLightsy7. That is on Twitter and Instagram at JLightsy7. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace.